Good evening, welcome to a special edition of Sowing the Bourbon. I'm Glenn, this is Charlie. Charlie, what is this? What do we have going on tonight?
Apparently we're showing a video of Glenn and his best friend Brewzle picking 5 single barrels at Peerless.
I think it was only 4.
Either way.
Accommodations. Does everybody get this, or is this the VIP?
Not everyone gets this treatment.
Okay.
This is real nice.
Like the VIP.
The little spoil.
I figured for this many year I was going to be as comfortable as possible, right?
Oh yeah. It's the most comfortable barrel picking chair you've ever seen.
This is already. The bad thing is you kind of want to kick your feet up.
Go.
No, I'm not doing that. That's right.
He's settling in.
It's very inviting. It's nice in here. Yeah.
So,
Barrel pick and a nap right here.
Man.
First barrel pick.
Ever.
First barrel pick.
First time.
All right, so we got 2 rookies
where's
here.
everybody from? First starting off.
I'm from Greenville, Indiana.
All right, welcome.
Just right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sellersburg.
Stellersburg, Mississippi.
Jackson.
Yeah, I'm from Alabama.
Alabama. What part?
Auburn, Opelika.
I got family down there in Dauphin Island.
Okay, yeah, south. That's closer to them than me, I think.
Indiana Mobiles.
Well, thank y'all for coming in. Like I said, we got an exciting barrel pick today. It's probably maybe the second time I've only done this many in one setting. So picking 4 barrels. So I figured we got 2 different mash bills of the bourbon we're going to go through, and then plus a rye too as well to try here. So the first glass you're seeing there right there on your tray, that's just a small batch bourbon all the way over to your left. That's just a good palate warmer. Kind of, if you haven't been familiar, if it's been a while since you sipped on some Peerless, kind of gives you an idea of what our everyday product is.
Or never.
Or never, yeah.
You never had Peerless.
I was going to ask for this because I wanted to start. I wanted to do something low proof, hopefully. Good flavor. Just get me in the ballpark first.
So what proof?
Everything we do is barrel strength.
Okay.
So on this small batch, this one's 111.5. It's about 30 barrels that we use for each and every batch. We come up to still around 130. We'll add water to it, take it down to 107. That's the only time our product ever touches water, and that's what our barrel entry proof is on everything.
Okay.
So the great thing about that is when you come in here for a barrel selection, these samples you taste, that's exactly what gets bottled up for you. There's no alteration. You don't have to worry about water being added to it. Corky likes to say the great thing about our product, it allows you to add water yourself.
I hear good words, yeah.
To it.
I hear good things.
So I don't have any, when it comes to selections, I leave proof, age statements, all that out, tasting notes, because it's not really what I like it for, it's really what you guys see in it. And I like to make sure that no one judges. You know, we've had plenty of groups that say, just give me the highest proof. Just kind of takes the fun out of everything, right? I want you to come in here and taste with everything else out of mind, too. Now, once we get done, you know, I do have a hydrometer I can use, a little electric one, a little whiskey meter that we can actually kind of do, and just in case you're just curious what it might taste like.
Okay.
So the way I like to do this is, you know, this is your all show. Under each glass, you'll see each glass has a number 1, 2, and 3, and on the side of these bottles, they are labeled 1, 2, and 3. I did just pull these this morning, so these are as fresh as you can get. So the way I like to do it, though, is whoever likes to do the honors of cracking them open, we'll pour out 1, 2, and 3, kind of sip on this, let them sit, open up a little bit, and then however you all like to select, really, it's your show. You know, we can taste them one at a time, talk about them, or you can be as quiet as you want to go through them, and however I'm sure you'll have a great process on how you all like to do your barrel selections. You know, he's wasting no time. He's
Let's get right into it.
This is your world. I'm just living in it.
First barrel pick.
This is my very first barrel pick.
First one, couple of rookies. All right. So at least I got that on camera.
That's right. And we're in some comfy chairs. We're living it up. Yep.
I think I might have caught the comfy chairs in the video.
Those facilities are not quite this.
You might get a rickety bar stool made out of an old barrel.
coming through too.
That's yeah.
Thank you.
You just go to the Rick House and drink till you fall.
Yeah.
You know what? I can dig that
You
experience.
just Mr. Jimmy to get a forklift and get you.
All right, what are you for? Number 2?
Yep.
And we do everything on site, so the great thing, we cook here, distill here, bottle here. We have one of our rick houses right here on
Thank
site.
you, sir.
So you can see a little bit of everything when you come in here too.
Yeah.
We don't source any product, so anything you ever had or tasted of ours, it came right out of this building. You know, we made a choice not to source any barrels. Not that we're against sourcing.
No bar sound, no MVP.
Nothing. You know, when we revived the family legacy, we wanted to make sure people knew that it was our stuff.
Okay.
What do you think so far?
I'm nosing it. I'm trying to get a taste before I throw it down the hole.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
I'm nosing it and letting it go.
You know, everything we're doing, we just hit 9 years old. But our biggest goal is right now, the hardest problem we see is just saving all our older inventory because we want a standard 10, we want a standard 12. We only do 100 barrel picks a year across the whole U.S. We're in about, I think we're in all 50 states now. So it's a very small selection of barrel picks that we do. But also, I think, there's about 3 of us that I have on the board that help taste these samples. So we have a good wide variety of people's palates, right? I'm not big into the herbal floral, but, I know a lot of people are. So it's great that we have different palates, put in different barrels inside the program, too.
You're already on number 2. Look at you. Josh don't play.
I'll tell you
We're not
I'll
playing.
tell you what I like here in a moment. Like, it won't take long.
That's what I like about this group, though. It's all business. Like, we get right down to it. Now, typically, for those that are joining for the first time, here's a few rules I like to let y'all know about.
Drop 'em.
Okay? 1, you don't have to drink it just because it was poured. Right? You don't have to finish the samples. We got lots of them to go through.
Thank you.
We're picking lots of barrels of whiskey here. So,
Thank you.
4 of them in this sitting. This is just number 1. So, you're getting lots of whiskey, lots of samples.
Okay.
You don't have to drink it all. Number 2, you like what you like. It's fine, right? Typically, what we're going to want to do is go through them one way, turn around, go back through them the opposite way, so that you're not biasing yourself toward the last one or that first one is usually a little harsher.
Okay.
So go through them a couple of times, make your decision. Then what we're going to typically do is just rank them. It's a little harder when they're 1, 2, 3 instead of ABC, but like you're going to rank these 1 through 3. Whichever one has the lowest number of points total wins.
Got it.
So pretty simple from that perspective. And actual rule number 1 I didn't go through, but that's because it's too late to eat. Never show up to a distillery on an empty stomach. Okay, never, never, never.
I had some live before I came here.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
You're already there.
Yeah, we always joke with everybody when they get to go with us Crittens. Eat a loaf of bread before you come.
Right.
But the first tasting is always easier because I didn't have anything on my mouth. After we sit here and we go to try to pick another barrel and go to the rise, it gets a little harder.
Right.
Because, you've had it on my mouth. Yeah.
You start to desensitize me a little bit.
Yeah, it's a real sensitive right
I
now.
love that we're going to work backwards and let these things just sit for a minute. We can compare off of each other.
And then, of course, you get your own side label, too. So the only thing I need is just a logo from you all. And then I get the side label stickered and everything. Once I get those approved, then I can set it up for modeling. Believe it or not, the stickers is the longest part. So we always try to say, hey, once you leave here, if you don't mind, go ahead and shoot me over that logo. That way I can get the label started. And that way it just doesn't fall dead within a couple weeks or something.
Oh, baby. It's going to make me stand up. I got to think about it for a minute.
Man's got to chew on it. Like, honestly, you're not going to you might affect his opinion. We've done this so many times. Like, we have very strongly held opinions.
I feel strongly.
You're not going to affect our opinion. So
Good. I feel strongly you guys might be quiet, Junior.
I try until everybody is like solidified their opinion. I try to not say too much because I don't want to affect your opinion. I don't want you to agree with me.
Thank you.
I want you to tell me there is a clear winner for me here, but it could be different for you.
Each their own.
Yep.
I think I have a clear winner too. Thank you.
You're welcome. If y'all want room temperature, let me know.
They give us cigars with these picks. We picked the wrong barrels, but it'd be more comfortable.
You got the airflow going.
Okay, so
We're looking for a balance of
the
both.
palate, and I don't want to. The other tell will give it away.
So I go off palate, mouthfeel, and then how it reacts after I swallow it. Because
But
everybody has a
everything-
very soft whiskey, and then you swallow it and you just feel the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I want one that's well balanced the whole way through.
Okay. And everything that you ever taste, you taste first with your eyes.
Okay.
So I cannot drink a whiskey without looking at it first. So color and clarity all comes out as one of my first.
Color. That's the easiest thing to.
Here you go.
Notice.
So,
And then
when you
airflow.
get on- when you get on those 3 the bottles right there, you can tell which one. You can see a lot more out of it.
Okay. All right. I'm tracking along with you. So, just these hot terms. Are you looking at legs? Is that something you're doing? You're just looking at color.
I mean, I don't normally judge on legs. like just how I normally judge on mouthfeel, which is an impact of the the viscosity of the whiskey.
Yes. Okay. Good.
But I don't really give a shit how it sticks to the glass as long as it tastes good and I get the mouthfeel right.
So I'll pay attention to the legs after if I go, wow, that thing's got a real long taste. It's got oils in it. So then I'll kind of start playing with it to see the oils that are in it. But that's after I've had it on mouthfeel because it's lingering so long on your palate.
I love it.
Because it's got a good oil.
Sleeper, just hanging. You can walk from my refrigerated whiskey, and I can go to the house and kiss my babies, come back, and it's still hanging there.
He keeps all the whiskey in the freezer just so y'all
There's a story for that, but I won't bore you with
Well, the
it.
great thing is we don't chill filter or charcoal filter because we do barrel strength. You don't have to worry about that coagulation, like a little mustiness that comes around in some of those bottles when you put them in the freezer.
All right, so have you got a ranking?
What do you think?
I think so.
You locked in?
I'm struggling
I got
between
one
two,
more
so I'm just gonna have to pick one.
All right. Yeah. Well, the problem is once you get down to the bottom, you got to make a decision.
Yep.
You already know?
Yeah, what is it?
Okay. What is your least favorite?
My least favorite's probably number 3.
Okay.
And if you're going shame on me, I'm just not. When I walk into a bourbon, I want something sweet. Naturally, that's what I gravitate to. I also want a strong finish. That's important to me. But I'm biased towards fruits. I'm not picking up a lot of fruits on any of these. But you want to hear my number 1? You want me to give you my number 1?
Sure.
Do you want to know why? I don't want to put ideas in people's heads.
No, we don't want you to. Yes.
All right. So my favorite would be glass number 2.
Okay.
I like it because it's giving me a butterscotch, and I'm not talking a Werther's. I'm talking like the cheap little golden wrapper butterscotch on the front, and it's rolling down and it goes through the middle. I'm not getting it on the sides of my tongue, but it's sitting there all the way through the back. I'm not getting like I think you call it a one-trick pony. I think I'm getting mostly that, but I really enjoy that old school butterscotch kind of. And then I'm also getting like maybe a little bit of gentle. The way to put it, I guess, would be like gentle leather with some brown sugar in there.
Yeah,
so
that's what I like about Peerless is that little soft, that oakiness kind of.
That's what you're saying. So that's
that's that kind of leather.
But it's not like a punch.
Yeah.
Like something else we tried the other day, and I'm like, oh, if you could just subtract that. But that's what moves me. The unusual thing though is I am not getting a thick consistency. I'm not getting a lot of viscosity out of that glass. I like viscosity. I want oily. And that's the least that I'm getting from.
So for what it's worth, they do a sweet mash, which all the other whiskey you're drinking and tasting and trying is all sour mash.
Okay.
So we don't use
So it does have a different flavor. Like Wilderness Trail does it as well.
Okay.
And they have a similarity when you taste them side by side because of the processes.
If you're not familiar with that term, sweet versus sour mash, you can think of it. After you run your distillate through your still, you have all the leftover water and grains, right? Sour mash takes a little bit of that leftover, kicks it back in the cooker, and uses it as like a starter for their next cook, right?
Okay.
The water
All right.
and
Like
grains.
a sourdough
Yeah.
starter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You always hold a little to start your next batch.
Okay.
And being
Yeah.
a strictly sweet mash, we don't reuse any of that. So we start with fresh grains, fresh water, first generation yeast every run. So we're gonna have a little bit more full flavored whiskey because what that allows us to do is draw the full flavors from those water and grains during fermentation, which we can be a little bit more aggressive on our distillation side, right? We're gonna capture some of those fruits, some of those florals. And if you've ever had like a sour mash you make, sometimes you can have a little grittiness to it, maybe a little sour note. Where here you're gonna find, like I said, if I'll take you downstairs after this, let you taste some of our higher wine. It is 130 proof, but it is so sweet and so flavorful, you would never even know it's 130 proof until you're laying on the floor after.
What are you thinking down there? What's your least favorite?
Come on.
Funny thing is, my least favorite was 2.
What's your favorite?
My favorite, I was really stuck between 1 and 3. I feel like 3 was a little bit more delicate on the palate
All right.
and just a straight up caramel
So
bomb.
exactly the opposite. So y'all canceled each other out.
How about that?
It's like we didn't even invite them.
Yeah, so I think
Oh man.
I think I'd have to go with number 1 because I think
Okay.
the nose and the
So you
palate
went with one.
together.
Okay.
Yes. So number
I'm
1.
leading right now.
I agree with this guy though. That one is the most gentle. I want a little bit of a tingle, and that gave me the little tingle.
Okay.
I want to call it velvet, but it's giving me tingle. And I'm still riding it right now. I like that.
This is gonna be fun. What do you think?
I like that.
1 is my least favorite.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
3 is my favorite, then 2. 3 and 2 are real hard.
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Okay.
so we don't agree with them at all. 3 was hands down. The funny thing, you said you don't get fruit. I thought that one had just a soft touch of fruit. I thought the viscosity, the mouthfeel was the best out of all of them.
I agree.
There was no real strong flavor, so I get a little more subtlety and nuance, and it just goes down so easy.
One's very floral and herbal,
Yeah.
but not much else to it.
2
Like,
has a slight perfume note to it. It's
Yeah.
good. Like, I like them all.
Are you getting a butterscotch though? Like that?
Pour me a little bit
Are
of
you
2
getting
and
that
3
cheap
here.
butterscotch?
See, I got
So
Right there.
2, I get a
But
real
also,
caramel
yeah,
butterscotch.
Like the cheap ones.
3, I get, like a good plum.
Yes.
Fruit leather.
That's
And a nice
vanilla
mouthfeel.
You can
I'm
look at
totally
the color.
with you.
The
about
mouthfeel on 3
that.
was the best, yeah.
I think 2's the worst on mouthfeel, but I like
Yeah.
the flavor in the nose on 2 so much that I couldn't pass it up. As soon as I sniffed it, I'm like, oh my
I guess my
god.
question is if both y'all agree on a bourbon barrel.
I get it. It's my pick.
How
So I get a little bit of citrus on that, just a hair.
But I do want to point out to you guys the color.
All right, that's what you
Yeah,
said.
look at the color of those.
I mean, you
And
see.
2's the lightest,
Yes.
so it makes me think it's probably the youngest.
I mean, it's not always the case. It could be where it's at in the rick house. It
That's
could
right.
be lots of
Okay.
things,
I mean,
right?
your
So if it's
boiling, your
against
viscosity
the
is going to
wall.
come from the barrel more than the actual distillate. So
Okay.
Much
when they're
like
darker, they're sitting in that barrel more and
Okay.
longer. So
All right.
just the knowledge of watching. I mean, like some of this is just experience of looking at the whiskey more than even tasting the whiskey.
Thank you. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to be able to walk up to it and I'm going to say, okay, I don't even need to ask her for it because I know I'm probably not going to like this system.
Boy, I mean, don't do that. But, you can judge a little bit.
I've
But
been
don't
fooled
like
by
it.
color quite often.
Yeah.
Colors, the closer it is to the wall, the higher up in the rick is, the darker it's going to.
I do feel that, too, the perfume note as I described it
Okay.
is a little bit of youthfulness.
Okay.
I think that's what, going back to it, it's just a little, like, it just needs another year in the barrel to be as exceptional as 3 is. Of course, 1, I've got a little hair of that left.
I thought 2 just kind of fell flat to me.
1's
It
good.
was
1's
really
got
light
a
on the
little
mouth.
more oakiness. It's a little drier. It's
It
really
is
interesting.
drier.
I like 1 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If you like a little more oaky, if you like a little more dry, but I'm hands down on 3, and it sounds like 3 out of the 5 people here chose 3 as well.
I could have gone either
I like
way,
them all.
1
I
or
love them
3.
all. I even love the small batch.
Well, I mean, and gosh, we've done this together a good bit, and that we all come up with the exact same tasting notes like that. I
That's
mean,
cool.
like it's, but also
One for sure.
But don't let us bully you.
Yeah, we're not.
That's not what we're doing, right? Don't back down.
I still respect the senseis though.
You give your notes first each time. You got a great palate. Like we're not telling you you're wrong. We just taste something different, right? And also sometimes here in this environment, having several, it takes a little experience to pick a good barrel. Because sometimes, your flavors can bleed over. Sometimes you get excited. Sometimes it's the order they were given to you. Like there is a little bit of a skill to developing, a palate for barrel pick.
Understood.
Now, I don't always go with my choice if the group decides something different, but oftentimes we have 2 or 3 experienced folks on these as well. But like if the group decides to go a different direction, I'm a bumper to make sure they don't pick something weird.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I saw you do that at Still Austin, so you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, yeah, don't pick that one. Yeah,
And there were people that liked it. And I'm
they
like,
were.
Am I that guy?
We're not asking
Am I
those people to come back.
And then another variable that us 3 have versus like a bourbon group coming in and picking a barrel. The bourbon, y'all can pick your nerdy whiskey, the thing y'all all really like about whiskey. We also have to look at it as we have to be able to sell it, so
That's
we
right.
need majority of the people to be able to grab it and enjoy it.
Right.
And the
So
whiskey nerds still appreciate it, but your entry whiskey people, they're like, okay, I get what I've been told about this, I understand it.
what a fine line. I think that kind of revisits back to like your video with your picks on Woodford Double Oak.
Yeah.
If you go heavy oak, I'm gonna be like, thanks, but I already know. I just can't do that.
We did, by the way.
You did.
Actually, what we did, we got Woodford sent sample kits, and they send profiles. They don't send the actual, but
You
they
did
send
it with
profiles. We bought one of each profile. So we got a heavy oak, a heavy vanilla, and a middle of the road. Yeah.
Well, I do feel like, to your point, number 3 is going to have the most broad mass appeal, I think.
Also, just
because it's so easy to drink.
So we don't have to pick broad mass appeal. We pick what I find interesting, and I think our group would like. And I still like two is a little too youthful. One is good. It's got a little extra oakiness and dryness. I'm typically looking for great mouthfeel, a little sweeter, and 3 was that. So 3 was. I will take 5 3s before I take one of any of the other ones for our group. But I do think I would be happy with number 1. I would not pick number 2.
Yeah.
Just as exciting though, I love that you don't want to push an idea into young grasshopper's head here, but when you're trying to sell it, just as important, you're trying to hit them with your net, but you also got to describe to them. You don't want to give them something that's way out, because I've also read some prominent whiskeys or bourbons that say, hey, this is what you're getting on the notes. I'm like, not at all, not even remotely. And I'll get my group of buddies check me. No, I'm not. I'm like, why did they put that on there? I bought it because of that.
Woodford has 200 tasting notes.
That is so that. Okay, there are some Woodford products I like, so I don't want to say anything bad, but I will also say that's just a safety net. That's all that is.
You can't. I picked that one out. They taste like everything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm also
subjective. It really is.
I mean, our last Peerless Barrel pick, I probably drank 12 of those bottles over the last year. It's been one of my favorites. So I have a certain taste profile that I'm looking for in this as well, and I think number 3 is closer to the one that we previously had that we've sold out of. So I mean, like I'm also in the business of selling whiskey.
Right.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
And people are going to expect
I'm
that.
taking 3.
Okay.
Are you happy with number 1, or do you want to wait until you get? Yeah,
I'm gonna hold off on one.
I would as well.
So, walking in the door at Peerless, what are you trying to hit when we walk into Peerless? What do you like about Peerless just to begin with, just to get in the ballpark?
Peerless is a really good quintessential bourbon, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of, but it has a little more. So it's quintessential bourbon, but it's like quintessential craft bourbon. Like there's a little more flavor. Like most of the big distilleries are going to cook off a ton of their flavors, and you're not going to get a great product from them unless it's something unusual or it's really old. Not always, but most of the time. And so this is a little more craft. It's a little more distinct. Every barrel is going to be super unique. I'm not looking for something in particular other than great. Like that's all I'm looking for. Like the word I'm looking for, it's great. And 3 to me was a great whiskey. 2 was a good whiskey. 1 was a pretty good whiskey, but 3 was great. So it's not that I'm looking for a particular note or anything. Like I can taste one that tastes like, it's got peach notes, and one that's got orange notes, and one that's just all oak and leather. Any of those can be great depending on the package they're in.
I would say if you take anything away from Peerless, one, we're family owned, right? Corking and Carson, we met in there. If we need anything, that's who we go to. It's not like we have a corporate ladder to go up, to ask for permission to do things. If we want to make a change, we sit around a table like this, talk about it, and we'll make a change right then and there.
Did you get 3?
I did not get 3. I was like, it's 3's empty.
We only make 25 to 2,800 barrels a year. Your bigger distilleries do 2,000, 3,000 plus a day. So what we like to say is quality over quantity.
Love it.
We're not worried about
important.
putting out the most. We just want to put out the absolute best that we can.
Especially with all the time it takes to put into it.
Could we try 3?
Yes, no, 3 is delicious, but
Delicious.
like this is that one note. So like, I did a lot, help training horses and stuff, and so this just reminds me of being boss in there.
That's important
So it's dusty, dirty, saddle leather, like
That's a great point.
smells like a sawmill, and then I get all that leather and dirt.
When you can unlock those memories, that's also important with a good whiskey, right? Because it brings back those feels, and it can, for me, it can bring back other things that I might have enjoyed at that same time. So if you bring a nose on, or something on the palate, just like you talked about, an old saddle,
Some people get too caught up on tasty notes, right? They want like caramel, vanilla, this. He pointed out a great thing. Sometimes it's just a muscle memory. Like, where does it take you? And that's the way we try to train people here that want to learn how to taste. Is we always say like not being at the lake or on a campfire after being like it's just. But no, that's an excellent point on the tasting.
Is anybody else getting a grape note on 2?
You're speaking my language.
On the nose and on the palate?
No.
But I am getting the
I drank all the 2, so I can't
I'm
go back
getting the
to
hay and saddle leather and barnyard flavors out of it. And I'm between both the 3s, and I feel like TJ is over there
Don't get me
trying
wrong.
to
Like
decide which one of the threes he's going to take.
I'm seeing
I love
darker.
3.
I'm seeing
2
darker.
just
everywhere.
unlocks those core memories for me.
Well, if you like 2, you can have it.
Yeah.
I'll take both of the 3s if they'll give them to me.
Yeah, definitely. The 3 to me
And then I'll
is
show
clear.
y'all another
winner.
thing.
3. That's the
This
best
is the
thing
night-
I
this
can
is
put
the
down
first
my neck.
three, right?
So the first 3 is like I get some citrus. It's got a great mouthfeel.
Yes.
Nice oily viscosity. It is a little like it's great. Love it. The second 3 is all of that with a lot more complexity. There's just a lot more going
Yes.
on with the second 3 versus the first one. So they're similar, but that second one just has all sorts of little
my
bursts
God.
of flavor. But I gotta go back. Like this one, just butterscotch on the nose.
Good. Yes. Yep.
I'm on the one we picked a minute ago. I get a soft touch of citrus,
We can pass that around and get a color like
dissipates into a soft
This
oakiness.
is the first number 3. Your number 3 right there is the second number 3.
This one, the oak comes through a little more on the nose.
Out of the 3s, the second number 3 is my favorite, but like this, that's
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah.
That is just.
I don't know. This one's yours if you want it, but if you know.
You gotta come in
No, no,
something
true.
fierce on
Okay.
this one right here.
I'm not going to be either of those 3s. No.
Okay, how old are they?
So these will be 6 years old.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
What's the proof on them?
Don't know proofs.
Okay.
So we don't do any proofing until we actually go to dump that barrel, and we use our hydrometer the old-fashioned way, and we get the official.
What do they typically come out at?
Here lately we've seen things between 110 up to
good.
119.
I like that one. To me,
What do y'all think of that last number 3?
Last number 3 is the hands down.
I love
There's
it.
no
Yeah, love it.
mistake.
I think it was
Okay,
good.
You just start telling people when they walk in the door, "Hey, try this." And they're like, "Yeah, I gotta have a bottle. Give me a bottle."
the last 3 to
Bruce is
me
gonna take that
was
one. It's
a
gonna be on the
blend
internet.
of the
you can have it.
better notes of
Ship
1 and 3 from the first taste.
to your house, baby.
Look, we ship would be a big
Switching
problem.
up here, you take
for
them,
our wives.
He's gonna take the one that don't got my name on it. I'm gonna take this last
I'll take
one.
that one.
This is my pick. I get first choice.
Well done, guy. Well done.
That's a hell of a barrel.
Not all, most of the time on these, if they're with us, it's their pick first, and then I get second dibs. This time,
I hopped in.
clout.
We're not gonna settle
He jumped
there.
in my pick.
I hopped in on this one.
Not gonna do an Indian leg wrestling match right here in the middle.
He stands 0 chance. I'm gonna be honest with you. He
I'll move
stands
the
0
table.
chance.
He would sling Josh across the
I don't know.
That dog like he got some fight in him. I don't know.
I'm sure he got
He got some fight in him, he got some legs.
What he don't have is any body mass. At least not enough to compete.
I can stay away. That's all I can do.
2's nice though. It's gentle.
Josh has a superpower in that fight. Catch me if you
Yeah,
can.
can't hurt me if you can't catch me.
But I'm glad they brought out a couple of extra samples. One, because we had a gray barrel and it got upgraded, and now Spillway gets a gray barrel
Yeah.
that he wanted just a few minutes ago until he tried that other one that we took.
I'm with you. I'm getting plumb
And this
on
one
number
I should have
the
on
first
site,
one,
so at
number
least
3,
y'all
but
make me go
man,
down and sound.
You hit it. Oh my gosh, that's a top notch.
There's a lot going on, like and you get the like oily feeling on
Yes.
that too. That lingering flavor from the oils.
You're on the Sega 3?
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite. I'm trying to just take my time.
Yes, it's a simple.
Man, you gotta describe it to them. You gotta describe it.
Describe it. Go ahead. You right here. You make the sales pitch.
You beat me.
Give
to
me
it.
all the taste of those.
Your best one is right here.
He wasn't on mic. You do it.
He's bringing in, and it's not because it's influence, but it's exactly what it is, and you get it from clean horse barns, which sounds awful. However, you sit around some old saddles and you get that old saddle, it's just stained from, it almost looks black even though it was brown. Oh, and it's just gentle on your nose, and you're just getting, if you just, and it's got to make you thirsty, but it's, man, I'm just an old cowboy needing a drink, and I got this old saddle, and it was brown, but it's black now, and I'm getting this, I'm just doused in brown sugar, baby. I'm doused in brown sugar. And then I'm just gonna neck it down, and it's gonna go right across. The front of my tongue is just like real fresh baked wheat bread. And then I'm still getting that brown sugar and that gentle, old, just put in work leather that's just nice and friendly to you. And nice and warm. Just goes down the
Already
reach and
set
nice,
fresh baked wheat bread,
Yes.
Boston wine.
Okay.
Outback Steakhouse.
Oh.
Got that wheat bread,
Good.
honey butter.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he got it too.
That was that.
This guy's
We
got
call
it.
this with honey butter. Is that what we're calling it?
Okay, yeah.
Honey butter might be too much because it's really the bread with the
Yeah,
honey.
It is the bread with the butter.
Yeah.
It's that husky bread. It's
We
that
go call it Outback bread.
You brought it. You nailed it.
You said that,
Yes,
and
sir.
I immediately saw the wooden board with that knife
Yeah.
and the bread and that butter. You hit it, man. You
no.
hit it, baby. But you got that old, you got that old cowboy walking up with his old trusty saddle though, with that gentle, just worn in leather.
I wish I could verbalize like he does.
It's always funny to me whenever I tell people like, man, it reminds me of a horse farm, like all this. And
I gave these anyway.
It looks like you've never done anything with
Set that one,
horses.
please.
I got you.
Like,
Yeah,
I'd be-
but I walked around a horse farm a couple times. That's why he gets. That's why he got invited though.
being there with
Dude's
5
good
fingers,
words.
training barrel horses.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can take all you want, or you can leave them. I can reuse them.
No,
We're not that dainty, man.
I'll
You're
get
doing
you
a great
fresh
job.
glasses, man, especially for the high ride we're about to dive into.
Oh, okay. Yes, I haven't had the high rye yet. Now I'm starting to really get into high rye bourbons. Like Old Dominic's high rye, I'm enjoying that. Like we finished, I had to buy a second bottle of the Old Dominic high rye cash strength. And if y'all know around the house, if we finish a bottle, something weird is happening because we are always just getting new bottles. We don't go back to something a whole lot.
So this
These
is
are my favorite funky
small
balls.
batch number 3 of our high rye. I only used 18 barrels to make this batch. It's definitely, so I love our bourbon small batch, right? But I think a lot of people sleep on this high rye because what they see is high rye and they immediately think it's a rye whiskey. And all this is,
So will you disclose your mash bills?
we don't disclose the mash bill. I'll tell you it's 3 times more rye in that recipe than we use in our
Thank you,
first
sir.
bourbon small batch
Okay.
recipe. And I'm more of a rye whiskey drinker, so that's probably
Yeah.
why I gravitate more towards this. But I think the complexity and the flavor was just fantastic. And I think it's a shame. I'm glad to see we introducing this down barrel program because this is one of my favorite products that we even offer here, besides our rye.
I like to get heavy.
Now this is the first ever, number one, the first ever high rye peerless pick.
Yes, sir. First time ever.
All right. Are we gonna be the first one to hit the market? You're gonna get it to us?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anybody else lined up. You all, and like I said, right place, right time. You happen to reach out at the time. Literally, what was it, last Thursday? And I was like, I just pulled a bunch of high rye samples that they have for the barrel program.
Making history,
We'll,
Brewzle.
Yeah.
we'll claim it's the clout. It was just good time.
It's a cloud.
And a little bit of clout, like no BS. Our distillers, you know, there's a lot of times we come in at 6 in the morning, start to distill. We get about an hour of free time after it gets up and running. We love watching reviews. I mean, that's what we do. We look up. And Nick Cleet, especially one of our distillers, is like a huge fan of your all's. And we've seen your reviews. We love you all. We, like I said, we appreciate the support. And so we were actually really happy when you reached out about wanting to come in and do barrel picks again.
This man is navigating a global palate. People are buying bottles, expensive bottles, on your merit just because you say it's good. You mention it for a second, so.
All right, so that's my first sip of high rye.
Let's see. I see what you did here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it's good.
I love a high
I'm like, it's got me super excited about what some of these single barrels can taste like. If we could get the same oily, viscous mouthfeel and complexity,
With that
but with a
spice.
little extra spice.
Yeah, I get the real fatty oil, get a little bit of raisin, a little bit of spearmint off of it.
Okay, good, yeah.
tickling my nostrils.
Yeah.
A little
That's
tobacco and like roasted coffee on the finish.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
I probably would pick a single barrel that doesn't have the like coffee finish to it. And it's not like a real strong note, but you know, let's get one with a little more punch of rye, maybe a little bit diminished on the oaky coffee. But we'll see what we get. I don't know. You never can tell when these barrels start rolling out.
So I got your high rye samples, 1, 2, and 3. Now, once again, I do apologize. I don't have these barrels on site. As you can tell, we enjoy tasting just as much as you all. So just be wise when pouring these out. I'm gonna use the restroom.
This is all we
Pour
got.
These out.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what you all think
Okay.
of these high rye.
All right. So high rye number 1.
It's definitely got that.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
It's definitely got that rye minty note to it.
Yeah.
I love a high rye mash bill.
I think there's a clear favorite. There are two really nice ones, but there's a clear favorite here for me. First time through. I'm going to go back through. First time through, clear favorite.
Don't tell me why.
Curious. I'm not going to tell you which one.
I think the nose on number one is, to me, that's the one that's more clearly has the rye nose. The other two are a little less.
Okay.
But we're a high rye whiskey.
The rye is more pronounced.
On number one.
I will agree
Okay.
with that.
Cool. I'm in consensus with that.
Someone said I don't like fruit here, but I love fruit. What is a fruit bomb to me?
What kind of fruit bomb? You got to dig deeper for me, man.
So do you remember? I'm 37, so we're probably around the same age.
We're the same age? Well,
So do you remember being a kid when you were in school?
okay, all right.
They had
let's go.
those markers that were scented. You could smell, and it reminded me of the blueberry scented markers that you used to have.
Okay, which one though?
The blueberry. Oh,
Which glass?
Number two.
Number two.
Okay, all right.
When
Good.
you said that, I was like,
All
As soon
right,
as he
good.
said that, yeah.
All right, yes, that's very good. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's. I would have never in my life
That's exactly what it is.
pulled that
dude.
note.
My guy.
And honestly, I think most of y'all at home are not going to say that's blueberry.
Oh,
You're not saying
blueberry.
blueberry, but it's kind of like
On number
now that it's
two,
in
yeah.
your mind.
Yep.
Blueberry markers.
Yeah, blueberry marker.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me, it
Although
just
that's
smells
not
like
the best
purple.
tasting note in the world.
That
Okay.
makes zero sense.
said it's like that.
It just smells like purple.
When are we digging out purple?
I was gonna say,
Are we doing Welch's? Are we doing
I give blueberry and blackcurrant on two.
Okay.
I love blackcurrant.
I feel like two has an interesting oakiness to it. When I first tasted it, like I got just hints of like a double oak, kind of like you mentioned earlier. Like it just some of those like really dark burnt sugar notes that you would have had on like Jack Daniel's Twice Barrel. After going through a couple times, they're not near strong. Not really picking them up,
Okay.
but two's pretty interesting.
I got a really neat nose on this.
What you got?
Number 3, eggnog. Give me
Okay.
eggnog, baby.
Let's mute his microphone.
That's all right.
There's a lot of sweetness on. There's a lot of sweetness on 3 for
That's
sure.
it. Eggnog.
Loaded with eggnog.
I'm getting eggnog all day.
That's a brave note. I will give you that. A lot of bravery there with that.
I get eggnog.
I would again another one I never would have picked up, but
It's like obvious.
going back to it, fair.
But blueberry,
I mean,
that
I-
blueberry scented marker for 2. Yes, you nailed it. And I was like, it's a marker, it's blueberry, maybe Sharpie and blueberry, and you said that blueberry marker. I'm like, okay, you're
I
on.
have a favorite. I know which one I want. Which one I'm picking.
Let's let them finish first and give their notes.
I'm going with 2. To me, it clearly stands out. 3, it finishes a little harsh to me. 3
Okay.
does.
Okay.
1 is it. To me, 1 is more quintessentially the high rye
Concurred.
profile. Yeah.
We're missing balance on it.
Yes,
It's a rye.
I would
It's
agree.
rye.
Yeah,
Still it's rye.
it tastes
It's
more
rye.
like a rye than a bourbon.
One's super harsh to my palate.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're in consensus here. We're getting somewhere, Glenn.
Like it's not one is not near as good as just the small batch, like the actual high rye bourbon we tried.
Right. I don't need any more of it. It's not bad, but out of all these great things we're tasting, I don't need to revisit it.
So two's your first.
Yeah, I feel like it's just more well-rounded. And usually, if you say a bourbon tastes like a marker, that's not a good thing. But with this one, I get what he was saying.
I get what he's saying, but it doesn't taste like a sharp. Like I get Sharpie notes on a lot of Elijah Craig barrel proofs, and it's off-putting. I don't like it. It's not that. It's not that notes. Like
Yeah, I mean, but the blueberry marker is not a sharp.
I think
Right.
what it means.
It's a
What it means
scent.
is it's just soft.
You could, and you're okay.
You're not
It's the non-toxic.
They were not toxic.
It's just like a really soft note. Is what he's saying by that. Yeah. So 2, 3, 1.
2, 3, 1.
Where are you at over there?
All right. It's
He's laughing. He's probably the exact opposite.
Just Josh with a marker. I could see him like
Eating a marker.
7th grade. The smells there. He's
If it
like,
tasted like that, bring it on, baby.
I'm older
than you guys. We didn't have this niceties.
He ate Sharpies. That's what he ate.
Nice. We ate chalk.
He's sitting there helping Reese do his homework.
And paint chips.
My
Kid-
football coach ate chalk, said there was protein in it. Gives those
Really?
feet-
I don't know if y'all seen this, but there's like, what is it, TLC or something that has like My Strange Addictions or something weird, where there's like people that just eat chalk or
The girl that
yeah, they eat like Tide Pods or something. It's like, I think Josh's going to be on an episode of that. Eat markers.
Couch cushions.
So white.
What's your order?
All right, it's an easy one for me. Number 2, and I'm in love with the nose with that blueberry childhood marker.
What's second?
My second pick will be number 3, and I think that would sell to the masses. I think it's got a better mouthfeel, it's deeper, darker, and I get a golden graham on it. I love golden graham cereal.
On number 3,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was gonna say toasted graham cracker, but
But
same thing.
what do you get on the nose though? That, and I stick with it. I'm not afraid to say it. You can call me.
I wouldn't say.
I have eggnog.
I can see eggnog.
Okay, so that's
I
Honey
think
Butter
Christmas.
cereal
I
to
think
me.
of like my
Okay,
grandma baking
sure.
in the kitchen, all the
Honey-
spices and
honey
everything,
smacks.
the sweet.
That's where I get the eggnog. It's
Yeah.
the Christmas. I mean, it's an allspice.
The spice going with it. Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
okay,
That's fair.
I understand
Yeah,
that
I
better.
like
now. Okay. And
So what's your order?
I'm 2 and 3.
You're 2 first?
Yeah.
I got
I'm 3 first.
Really?
Yeah.
TJ, what do you got for us?
But he also kind of ruined it for me with the blueberry.
I like the berries.
I was on the fence, and then I'm now.
I'm gonna have to go back. So I am very close between 2 and 3. Like I'm very close. I'm leaning 2, and if everybody was consensus on 2, I was just gonna go with 2. I thought 2 had more going on. I thought it was more complex. I thought the rye spice actually came through a little more, which I want on a high rye bourbon, but now y'all got me talking about freaking eggnog and stuff, so I gotta go back and revisit these.
So like we're also 8 whiskeys in. I will say number 3 has a little more kick. I would say it's the proofiest of the batch, and I'm kind of liking that part. Like the proof of the finish of 3 is really standing out because I'm
I think
8 whiskeys in.
I'm with you, but I think the people would like it more, to be honest.
You think they were like, which one more? 3?
Right, number 3. Yep.
You think the people?
The people.
Your people, man.
My
It's
people?
You got a good palate. You train young grasshopper. I'm getting there. I almost have my green belt, but I think the people are going to appreciate number 3 more because you're getting a golden graham. But I'm going to say you can find golden graham on some other bourbons. You can, but I've never had something like number 2 before. I've never had something like
the
number 2
rye.
before.
The rye spice is really nice. It's really soft. You've got a lot of complexity there, a lot of caramel. I get a little bit of graham cracker on 2 on the finish now that I've had too much whiskey.
Well, I mean, now that you've drawn me away from blueberry markers to graham crackers, it is a little more palatable to me. It is better,
3 is really nice. 3 is really nice.
It's a little
It's
bit.
just, I get the eggnog, I get what you're saying there. It's a really nice whiskey. I feel like, how much rye spice do I want? That is the decision between the 2 barrels. 2 has more rye spice. 3, now that you got eggnog in my head, it's just like, that's all that's there. Like it is nice, oily, viscous, like an eggnog would be.
And I can see
You've
your
got
label.
some of the spiciness from it.
I see your label with the Santa beard. You got your hat on. People are loving it. Holiday release.
Okay, I know not everybody's a rye guy. And we're gonna pick a rye. We're gonna pick an outright rye whiskey for the rye folks. This is a really tough. Can I get both?
Now you're talking.
I can't
now
answer
you're
that
talking.
now.
Okay.
I would have to ask on that one. But
I will take 3 then 2,
Okay.
or I will take 3 and 2.
That's smart.
All right.
How can you tell this man no? He's just gonna grow
He
you.
didn't say no. He said I gotta ask somebody.
Well, I mean,
That's probably my only.
Answer's yes.
and that's actually everybody gets to get one of these bottles at their house and gets to decide when they're
Yeah.
own because you're not losing on either one of those. This is
Win-win.
This is a way tougher decision. Like last round, that second 3 was undeniably the best
Right.
whiskey we've had. 2 and 3 have different nuances that are going to play into each person's personality, their flavor profile. Both exceptional whiskeys.
Three is more mainstream. Like the rye spice is a little more muted on that.
That's
It is
true.
much more mainstream. You're right there. It is much
It's
more
safe.
like many more people that are a little iffy on high rye bourbons will like the last one.
Guys,
You're 100% right. But two is so good. Like it is. It is really
Well, that's my question. If someone who's going to buy a high rye bourbon, don't they want that?
Well, you're going to get that as a high rye bourbon.
Right.
You're still going to understand both of them. You're going to still pick up the rye.
I want something
It's
different.
just one, the rye's a bit elevated. Right.
Yeah.
Both of these are different, my friend.
They're different.
So
Both
you're
of these are
doing two
different.
different flavor profiles, I feel like,
Yeah.
which it makes it 10 times harder.
Which also gives your followers the opportunity to see
Oh, two's
the
my favorite.
nuances between it. I mean, if you get both of these bottles at your house, you can pour them and have the same experience we've had.
You'd be really thrilled. You'd be very happy with what you
And
have.
two separate whiskeys, same mash bill, different places in the rick house, produced at different times. I mean, just
Three is so like that one's honestly if I'm just picking between which of these two, I would just sit down and go back to which of these bottles am I going to drink first? It's probably three. like two, but also I like to keep whiskey around that sometimes is just a rare occasion whiskey. It's just like I keep Booker's around. Not because I'm going to drink a Booker's all the time, but sometimes I just want something that is way out there and different. Now, I'm not saying this is like super out there and different, but like I would go to two much less often than I would go to three.
Okay.
So I think,
All right. That makes
I think
sense.
three's a winner.
That makes sense.
Unless I can get both, and then both is always the answer.
Three's the people's.
I'm the opposite.
See, I'm the same way that he is, except for I would drink three faster than two because I would like to have two around longer.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with
That's
that.
a good- that's a good point.
Now you're making me feel bad.
That's a good
special
point.
occasion whiskey.
Unless I can get both.
See, so two to me, especially if we're talking about the two prior to this two.
We're not. We're talking about
I
this
know.
two.
I know. I
The
do
two
like
prior to this two, you're completely wrong about. But let's talk about this two.
Let's subject these to be able to.
I'm with you.
Yeah, like-
One's three.
Okay, and that would be done by the
Three to me
serial
just tastes like.
So two
you
is
know,
actually
Did not function. Could not connect. One of the things that made us 15 minutes late last week, I thought I had a solution for that. I did not. So also this week doesn't work. Then the internet went out. 5 minutes before we're going live, and now we're streaming off a hotspot right here off my phone. Thank God Louisville has 5G, and we got a pretty good upload, but if we have problems with it, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize ahead of time. Right now, we are here at Old Louisville in Louisville. Checking the chat to make
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was long and probably boring, but if you've never sat in on a barrel pick, I'm sure you appreciated that. That was my first time, right? So, what's wrong, Charlie?
Oh no, it was awesome. I'm so happy for you that you got to.
Charlie's a
sit in
little bit bitter because
on
he
a
didn't
barrel
get to go.
pick
But Charlie's been on barrel picks before. That's the first time I've ever.
at Peerless.
That was the first one I've ever been on.
Glenn was nice
I
enough.
deserve it.
Glenn was nice enough to bring home
A
this
sample. Yeah,
a
they
sample,
let us take a
bottle.
sample out of one of the barrels that we picked.
That's amazing. So at least I get to taste something.
Absolutely.
Glenn, which one is this?
I don't remember.
And that's the gosh darn so into bourbon way. This is one of the 4 or 5. who knows?
Honestly, things kind of got lost in the shuffle.
with
I
your friend
think-
Brewzle.
Okay, so what I will tell you,
Brewzle.
and I think he's mentioned this in the video, only one of the barrels that we actually sampled, they had right there on site. The other samples came from an off-site storage facility that they brought in. I don't think, at first I thought this was the high rye. I don't think it is. I think this is the second number 3. That's what TJ told me. So
TJ?
I don't even know if he knows.
TJ,
honestly.
your friend Brewzle.
I don't even know if he knows, but regardless,
Thanks
it's
for
one
the-
of them.
Thanks for the Peerless.
Charlie conned me into bringing it again, and now it's half gone.
At least I get something out of the deal.
No, actually.
All right, color wise, it's honestly for a Peerless, it's not super dark.
Yeah, a little bit lighter than
little lighter.
some of the selections we've had before.
Nose is nice,
Beautiful.
proofy, bourbon, cola.
Cola.
Sweet.
I get a grape note.
Yeah, you're
I
on
get
that
grape
purple.
notes a lot on their stuff. That purple.
I don't get as much purple. Purple.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
And a savory note.
Hey,
Love that ching.
cheers, Brewzle. Holy crap.
This is more of a straightforward caramel vanilla spice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll let you behind the curtain. We just got done filming our episode about Peerless, toasted,
The second toasted
the
release.
second toasted release, and the double oaked single barrel. This, totally different
Totally
animal.
different.
Totally different animal. Just as enjoyable.
Just as enjoyable.
Oh my
Totally
gosh.
different. That's more of your straight up
Yeah.
bourbon, you know.
Like just, boy, there is like a caramel note, like a sweetness mid palate that continues to finish that is just unbelievable.
Really nice. Really nice. Great finish, as always. Peerless.
Just
Great
unbelievable. No
And I hope-
Kentucky hug. Like
No,
no
not at
burn. I don't know what the proof is. Nobody knows. We don't even know what it is.
Yeah, we don't, because they don't know until they take it out of the barrel. Yeah, that's great. I hope Brewzle doesn't get mad at me for releasing this before he releases it.
If he does, he know where If he does, he know where he can find us.
That's right. And make sure when he does release these single barrels, you go buy one. I don't know, how do you get access to them? You go follow Brewzle.
Follow
You probably
Brewzle.
do already.
You probably do.
Yeah.
In terms of so into bourbon, you need to get some Peerless. And I said this in our previous episode, and if you go back and watch any of our previous Peerless episodes, this is serious, serious bourbon. And I
This
know
is bourbon without peer.
Peerless. Good one. I like that. What were you, an English teacher? This is serious bourbon. It's unbelievable. Everybody knows. I don't say it, other people do. I really don't know what to say about this bottle, like of this sample. It is really unique to the Peerless that we've had. It's not a double oaked.
Nope.
To our knowledge, it's not a toasted.
Nope.
It is as pure a Peerless as we have had. Holy crap. Really great.
Really nice. It's just a straight up classic. Here we go again. Classic bourbon profile. But with that finish, that, I don't want to say explosive finish, because that almost makes
No,
it sound like
no.
too much.
It's
but
explosive flavor.
Yeah.
Is what it is. The crazy thing about this one to me is the spice and the char is on the front. The sweetness is mid palate and finish. That because normally, if you're a bourbon drinker, you know the finish is typically your deep notes, your dark notes, your oak, your chocolate, your rye spice. That caramel flavor hangs around for a really long time, which is really nice. I
Really
like that.
does.
I like that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
Hey,
it.
thanks, Brewzle, for letting Glenn hang out.
Yeah. And thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us through the. I know it's a long episode. But
It's fun,
hey,
though. Hey, when else are
we're
you
here-
going to get to go to Peerless?
Exactly.
Exactly. Tell them what to
Charlie.
do. No, you tell them what to
You
do.
tell 'em what to
you, I'll tell them what to do. You do it.
You got
You got to.
follow us on the socials. So Into Bourbon on Facebook and Instagram. Whiskey Realtor on TikTok. Don't forget to buy merch. Link in the comments. And as always, keep your wallets loose.
And your bunghole's tight. Good night, everybody.